Hi, my name is Claire, and I'm a recent graduate of Dan Locke's HTC program. And I wanted to share with you my story and my journey in this program. So it all started when my house burned in the Thomas fire last December. It was the biggest fire in California history, and I lost everything. So I lost my home and my music studio and my home business, which was distilling hydrosols and essential oils from all of the native plants around where we lived. So this was a really big turning point in my life. I mean, everything I knew was whisked out from under my feet, and I was left at the mercy of needing help from other people, which was actually a blessing in disguise, because learning to get help from other people was a big lesson for me in my life. And so under the title of fire victim, I actually had to go around and receive different kinds of donations. Like, I found a place to live for free for a little while, and we got all of these clothing donations and shoes and essentials. And I'm very grateful for everyone that contributed to my recovery. But after a while, the title of fire victim started to really wear on me, as I don't tend to see myself as a victim, and I didn't really like putting that title on myself. So I decided that I would find a way to get myself back on my feet and make my life even better than before. And after making that decision, I actually came across an email in my inbox from Stephen James, which was introducing Dan Locke, and it was an invitation to his webinar. So I had been quite open at that point to different possibilities, and I thought, okay, yeah, let me give this a shot. And I watched the webinar, and I was pleasantly surprised with a character that was unlike anyone I had ever met before. And I had been exposed to the concept of financial freedom, which a lot of people are striving for, everywhere from get-rich-quick schemes to investments and banking and real estate and cryptocurrencies and Amazon marketing. There's a lot of ideas out there online right now as to how to find your way and make a higher income. But Dan presented this idea of financial confidence, which was after presented, it was actually far superior to financial freedom, because once you reach financial freedom, you could always just lose it. But if you find financial confidence, then you're kind of set for life, because you have a skill that will last you through any circumstance. And that's the kind of thing I needed after losing my house in a natural disaster. I wanted to find something that would be valuable to me through thick and thin, whether I had this or that or was living here or there. I wanted something that I could use wherever I was in the world and in any different type of situation. And that's basically what Dan Locke was presenting. So I was all ears at that point, and I decided to sign up. And it was actually quite a risk for me, because I had a very small amount of savings to work with at that point. And I followed my intuition and decided to join the program and use a good portion of what I had set aside for getting back on my feet, because I really wanted to reach for the stars and go for fulfilling my dreams, and I saw that potential in this program. So I joined, and I started learning. I started transforming my mindset and my attitude toward money, and the biggest surprise to me was actually that there was a whole family awaiting me, not just Dan Locke, but a whole family of people across the whole world that were in the program. And with Dan's guidance, we were able to reach out and help each other through the whole program. So one thing I learned that really stuck out to me was that we can take help from other people, and that we don't have to do it alone or compete against the rest just to make it, or just to make it big. But actually, if we have an attitude of abundance, that we can all help each other, and we have time to share with others to help them grow in their abundance too. And this is what I really found was true with the HGC family. And this kind of blew my mind, because these people were total strangers to me when I first got there. And within a matter of weeks were willing to spend time and heart put toward helping me grow and helping me hurdle over my challenges, giving me feedback in places where I had maybe blind spots. And this was an amazing experience, because I have a lot of different friends over the years and I treasure them, and I did not expect for people that I didn't even know to be so giving toward me. And I think the main reason this happened is because of Dan's attitude toward abundance, and that he was teaching us. And this is something that translated across the board. And this transformed my attitude toward money, because I had previously had a lot of judgments about rich people, and that they shouldn't have their money and they should be giving it all away. But actually found that in my time of need, it was actually rich people that most helped me, by offering a free place to live, by giving me financial donations to get myself back on my feet. And I had to really look at my judgments about money. And I think that I had, over time, and as in my upbringing, I had learned that in order to be spiritual or like a good person, that you actually needed to not care about money, and if you were poor and humble, that you were closer to God, and these kind of ideas. And I've kind of realized that that's not true at all, that money is actually a neutral force that we can empower with our intentions. So I can use money for good or bad, it's up to me. And I of course know that I want to use it to help the whole world, but Dan actually helped me to see, if I want to help the world, I actually have to help myself first, so that I'm coming from a place of empowerment, that I can actually help other people. And this is a really big thing for me, because where I come from, my parents always taught me it's all about service and serving other people, and that's how you're going to get to enlightenment, and that's how you're going to get to the other realms of higher consciousness. But actually, living in the material plane, I think that finding our confidence financially and being able to be the master of our own domain and not at the whim of other people financially is a crucial step toward a foundation for actually being able to help other people. So I'm very grateful for this. This is a really big shift for me, and it's probably the biggest thing that I've learned in this course. And so amongst all of the skills at learning how to sell and close people over the phone, I have transformed my mindset toward abundance and money, and even my own personal self-worth. So at this point, after graduating, I see myself in 12 months from now being able to travel, to, as a musician, be able to produce my albums at a high level of production quality, to be able to go on tour, to be able to study from my Qigong masters, which is my spiritual practice, to be able to travel the world and be with cultures that I've never met before, and learn about movement and dance and music, and go from there. I want, in 12 months from now, I want to be testing myself to even push further and financially grow to the point where I can put a down payment and buy a piece of property with a house on it in this beautiful town that I live in called Ojai, which is extremely beautiful and extremely expensive. And yeah, I'd like to be able to afford my own place here. And I really see that that's possible, because my belief in myself has become really solidified, and I'm practicing the attitude of gratitude every day, which flowers into a lot of really beautiful moments throughout the day where I can take my self-confidence and apply it into my communications with other people. So I've learned from Dan that like my communication is my wealth, and my communication skills are improving every day, and I'm super happy to have the mentorship because I had a lot of blind spots, and those are being pointed out to me, and I'm being able to look beyond my previous self into somebody that's actually completely centered, balanced, and in love with myself, and therefore able to love the whole world. So if anyone out there is skeptical, I understand that, because I was at first. This program actually seemed a little bit too good to be true, and it was a stretch for me financially. So I can understand that being a scary thing to do, but the truth is the program is too good to be true. And the reason why is because somebody like Dan is willing to actually take his time to mentor people at this low of a price. He doesn't really need to do that, and he's willing to help. So I would just say, if you're worried about it, think about the value that you're going to get from being able to transform your attitude toward money and wealth and financial confidence, and think about what that will put toward your long-term future. And imagine what you could be if you weren't constricted by poverty. Imagine what your life would be like if you could do whatever you wanted to do, whenever you wanted to, with whoever you wanted to. I mean, let your imagination speak for itself.